The United States has a $21 trillion underground network for only the wealthy to hide out in a near extinction event. Everyone's kind of talking about this right now and nobody's really surprised, but here's where it stems from.
There were 21 trillion of undocumentable adjustments in the U.S. government. The question is, where's all this money going? And one of the things I've looked at in the process of looking at where all this money is going is the underground base and city infrastructure and transportation system that's been built. So we have built an extraordinary number of underground bases and supposedly transportation systems.
In the United States?
In the United States, and all over the world, through and tried to estimate our guess, this is totally a guess, of how many underground bases, both underground in the United States, but also underground under the ocean.
Now that was Catherine Austin Fitts, and the entire interview is really, really good. If you haven't watched it, you should go watch it. In another life, she served as the Assistant Secretary of Housing and Urban Development under President George H.W. Bush. And everybody's talking about this one part about the underground bases, right? We followed Mark Zuckerberg when he built his underground bunker. I mean, we were deep into this a while back when we thought that the world was going to end. So nobody was really surprised, but everybody really likes to talk about it, and that's perfectly cool. But you did miss this part, is how did they move the money to do all these dark secret ops to build underground bunkers? How do they move it without the people knowing? Because any money that goes into the government is supposed to be able to be found and disclosed and tracked. That's the rule, right? How do you get all of that money and have it never ever be able to be tracked by anybody? And here's what she said.
Remember the Kavanaugh hearings?
Very well.
Okay. What you don't remember is during the Kavanaugh hearings, the White House, the Senate, the House, Republican and Democrat, all of them together, issued an administrative policy called Federal Accounting Standards Advisory Board Statement 56.
Yeah, I did miss that. I'll just say.
You did miss that.
Yeah, I was busy watching Kavanaugh yell about his teenage drinking or whatever.
Right. And what that policy said is, as a matter of administrative policy, we do not have to obey the constitutional provisions related to financial budgeting and disclosure. We do not have to obey the laws, and we do not have to obey the regulations. What we can do is appoint a secret group of people by a secret process to move money out of the financial disclosures of the United States.
So what she's saying is that when everybody was super busy working on and watching and talking about the Kavanaugh hearings, Congress got together and they enacted this rule. They could have sole propriety over moving funds where they needed to go, and it didn't have to be publicly identified. They could just assign it to this like mystery thing, this mystery man. Okay. And then those funds are what they use. So what is she saying is those funds are what they use to build all of these underground cities. That's what they do, right? They distract us with dumb shit like Kavanaugh hearing or Met Galas or celebrities. And then they go through and they have all these little hearings and they're real quiet and nobody talks about them. They just keep screwing people over. Anywhoosers, this whole interview is really, really good. And tomorrow night, I am making my Shipwreck Show premiere on Badlands Media on Rumble. And that's going to be at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. Okay. And I actually have a lot of these clips broken down. And she talks about a lot of really interesting things that we've kind of been talking about for years. So we're going to kind of talk a little bit more about that. And I'm going to share all the clips. And we'll probably scroll. We'll talk about some other things that are going on. P. Diddy stuff, that trial starting this week. We're just going to talk about a whole bunch of stuff. So I hope to see you there.
They told you the data centers were for AI, but follow the water. Something about this feels very wrong. We're being told that giant corporations are spending hundreds of billions of dollars building massive facilities because artificial intelligence needs more computing power. That's the official explanation. But some people think that's only part of the story. While everyone is staring at AI, almost nobody is paying attention to what these facilities are consuming. Water. Enormous amounts of water, and not just in one location. Across the country. At the same time, drought warnings are increasing, reservoirs are shrinking, temperatures are breaking records, and cities are openly discussing future water shortages.
Okay, if you want to see the water levels in Colorado, this is Dillon Reservoir. Are you sure we shouldn't be worried about the water levels?
Now ask yourself a simple question. If water is becoming more scarce, why are some of the largest companies on Earth racing to secure access to so much of it? The answer we're given is cooling. Servers generate heat. Data centers need water. Case closed. But that's not where the conspiracy ends. Because some people believe we are witnessing the early stages of a resource grab unlike anything in modern history. Not for oil, not for gold, not for land, for water.
Guys, I have been fishing the Rio Grande River for many years now, and I have never seen anything like this. In the last 4 years, the river has dried up pretty much to zero flow. Maybe 4 times in the last 4 years that I know of. But this is the first time I've ever got to experience it firsthand. I have pulled up nearly 100 pounds of dead fish just in one little spot. And this dryness stretches for about 5 to 10 miles, man. So this is just a fraction of the unalived fish out here. Some of these catfish are pretty big too. Not like the biggest I've ever seen or anything, nor caught, but gosh, good sized channel catfish. Gone to waste in the dried up Rio Grande. Oh, I'm not saying it's going to be the end of all fishing on the Rio Grande River, but it is just a sad sight when you're used to poking around in these spots, you know, to see quality fish that didn't make it.
Think about it. Every person needs it. Every city needs it. Every farm needs it. Every country needs it. Civilizations can survive without oil. They cannot survive without water. That's why AI may be the perfect distraction, the perfect headline, the perfect excuse. While the public is arguing about chatbots, robots, and artificial intelligence, corporations are quietly positioning themselves near aquifers, reservoirs, and critical water infrastructure. The deeper you go down the rabbit hole, the stranger it gets. For years, we've been hearing warnings about water scarcity. We've been told climate pressures are increasing. We've been told demand is rising. And we've been told shortages may become more common. And yet, somehow the response seems to be building massive facilities that require even more water. That doesn't look like preparation for an AI boom. It looks like preparation for a future where whoever controls the water controls everything. History is full of wars fought over resources, but what happens when the resource is the one thing every human being needs every single day? What happens when water becomes more valuable than energy, more valuable than technology, more valuable than money itself? When powerful institutions start moving toward the same resource at the same time the public is being warned the resource could become scarce, people notice. The official story is that this is an AI revolution. The conspiracy theory is that AI is simply the cover story. And if the future really belongs to whoever controls the water, then the biggest resource grab of the century may already be happening in plain sight. Are they building the future of artificial intelligence or securing control of the future's most valuable resource?
It now currently has 33 feet, and it's rapidly depleting as people are using the water. So what we have done, it started as a voluntary closure of businesses and telling residents to only use water for emergency things. Like hydrating yourself. What we are telling residents they should not be doing is laundry. Certainly no irrigation of lawns.
The Everglades are literally being burned down right now as we speak, but hey, it's not like it's for the data center that's being built right here. This is Project Tango, the new data center being built in the Everglades, which I thought was supposed to be a national park, but guess what, guys? They don't care about that either. But the good news is this is a smaller one, but it still uses more power than Jamaica in total, than the Bahamas in total, and Nicaragua just to operate. But guys, I know what you're thinking. Isn't this just going to be so great for the people of Florida? It's going to create so many jobs. Nope, only 40 to 50 people can work in this huge facility. Keep in mind, the billionaires who are building this literally get a 60+ million tax write-off, but again, only employ roughly 40 to 50 people. The 60+ million in taxes that they're avoiding would have gone to fund roads, schools, emergency services, but no, the billionaires can do whatever they want. The good news is if you're a homeowner and you live next to one of these things, they're now predicting that your home value will go down at least by 5% just from the noise that this thing makes. It literally can be 90 to 120 decibels, which is the equivalency of having someone next to your ear with power tools. This is the reality.
This is our cold water pressure in the kitchen. This is where I fill up water for storage. Those are the things we have to fill up to flush the toilets.
So you can see the sediment from the data center. Wow, and that's just from the water coming out of your faucet.
Yeah. And this is what's in all the pipes.
Just the well itself is probably 20,000, and that's not counting any of the
All the
faucets.
replacement of the fixtures and faucets
just
and
the-
toilets and the lines that come underneath the house. It's overwhelming because you
These need to
really
be banned.
feel like you are up against this huge wall that you can't penetrate. There's nothing that you can do, and they don't care.
We the people need to wake up and speak out against this. There's already one in every single U.S. state, and they're only getting bigger and taking more of our freedoms, our rights, and our resources. Let's wake up.
Have nothing to do with the fruitless deeds of darkness, but rather expose them.